Right, what have I got today? Right, it's another Stubby, but this time it is from PB Swiss. So thank you to Mark over at onlyqualitytools.com. This isn't an advertisement for him or anything like that. I did pay for this, but thanks to him I was able to get hooked up with one of these because it was like gold dust trying to get a hold of this. Very irritating, but I did eventually get one. And the reason I wanted to get one is because I wanted to compare it to the Wiha, which I have tested and reviewed, and the Vera here, which is the sort of bulbous one. It looks like the sort of abdomen of a spider there. So they're all slightly different takes on a magazine Stubby. So what's a magazine Stubby? Well, Stubby as in it's very short, like this, and they have a self-contained magazine of 1/4 inch bits, although the slight difference is that takes a normal 1/4 inch. Here's a normal 1/4 inch. The Vera takes a normal 1/4 inch. The Wiha takes these sort of double length ones. The reason it does that is because they're double ended. But if you try and put a normal 1/4 inch in, it goes too far down. I won't let this go all the way down because it does go flying down there. I don't want to let go. You can use it like that, but it does stick like that, but it will then push even further. I won't let it do it. So it's kind of proprietary, and they're not all the same. So there is that extra. The obvious benefit of having the double-ended ones is you get more. So you've got like, there you go, so you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they're double-sided, so you can double that. So more capacity, however, strange bits, which is a shame, because if you're a workman or a tradesperson and you've got a load of other 1/4 inch bits, you're not going to be able to use them in this, which is a bit of a letdown. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about the PB Swiss, so let's look at the size of this thing. So here's some props. There's a £5 note and a £1 coin with, I think is that Winston Churchill with his saying there, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat." Right, in other words, time for a bit of hard work. Right, so let's get down to the hard work. So this is the PB Swiss Tools PB8453, and this is Swiss made. It is made in Switzerland. Unlike, if you remember, the Wiha and the Vera, these seem to send them to Czech or Poland and places like that, which is a shame because these are German manufacturers and then they've outsourced that production to other European countries. I'm not having to go to those countries. However, what I'm saying is if you buy a German tool, you automatically presume you're going to get a German piece of equipment, which isn't technically the case. In other words, it wasn't made there, whereas this is actually made in Switzerland. Okay, so let's look at the device. I mean, it's dead small. It's the smallest. So as you can see, next to a £1 coin there, tiny. There it is in a £5 note. Look, tiny, absolutely tiny. I mean, that's, it's the smallest one in this lineup. I will do like a head-to-head video probably, but this is a review specifically looking at this. Let's look at the markings. So you've got the serial number on there, 333647 on mine, and it's a magnetic 1/4 inch bits there. So there's no detent or like something you'll get like a ball bearing detent. That isn't the case in this. It does have a magnet and it's damn strong. I probably would say that the magnet is twice the strength of the ones in here. Very, very capable, which I think is important because the bits don't go that far in. Watch, they're protruding quite far. If you look at the little detent hooks on a 1/4 inch there, they're not even in use. Look, it doesn't even go that far down, but I can't pull that out unless I use quite a bit of force. And listen when it goes in, that's quite loud, whereas on these ones, not so strong. See, I would say this is probably the weakest. This is slightly stronger. Well, although to be fair, yes, the detent's stronger, but the magnet doesn't work like that. So detent wise, it's quite stiff, but when we're talking about magnets, I would say this is the strongest. The Vera's okay, but this is just like, it's like nuclear, push straight in. So how many do you get in here? So I'll open this up and I'll show you. So here's but now the workings of this are extremely smooth. When this comes out, it feels very well machined. And then it's got a nice little pop there at the end. And then the same when you push it in, nicely machined there, very tight, and then pop. So I like that in comparison to the Vera, where it's like wobbling all over, although there is a reason for that. There's wobbles. It feels cheaper, it's all plastic, whereas I can tell there's metal on the internals there. This tilts for a reason. It's so you can help get these out, although I didn't actually like this system because you've got to like pull them out at funny angle, and then if you try and pop them in, it makes this weak, and then you've got shake, rattle and roll. Although to be fair, listen, this is fully closed. You heard the click there, listen. There is a little bit, see, hear it? There's a little bit of a rattle on there, but nothing like that. That's like a percussion instrument, and there's nothing on the Wiha, sorry. So very impressed with the workmanship here. I mean, to be honest, this is probably my favourite handle on the Wiha. This is rubberized, and then the red bit's plastic, whereas all of this is rubberized. All of this is like it's hard to show. If I get like a bit and push it in, you might see, if I can leave like a detent on it. There, can you see that? And then it's going back to normal. So I'll do that again, I'll push it in. There, see it? And it's coming back to normal, so it's like a very soft, it's very, very nice to use. This bit's plastic, and the insides here are plastic, but beautiful, very, very well engineered, extremely nice to use. I quite like the way they've continued this design of the handle right down to this section, although I quite like this where you can use spanners and stuff on it. Same with the Wiha, it has these where you can get like a wrench or a spanner on to give yourself a bit of torque, but you could argue that really a Stubby isn't for high torque applications. That's not really what it's for. Certainly I haven't used this for that. I've used this for putting computers together. I've used the flathead for furniture. Where's the flathead? I used that for putting some furniture together, so let's have a look. Tiny bit of wear on the end there, tiny bit, but I'm very happy with that. It certainly hasn't scuffed up or anything, so that's fine. And then I used the normal smallest Phillips, so it'll be the P1. I used that one as well for the furniture, and I can't see anywhere on that, so very, very positive. It's not like these dollar store ones where you get monkey metal and they last a week and then they grind down to nothing. So very impressed so far, but I only used those two heads. And what else did I use? I used the smallest torque very briefly on some electronics, but I literally put in 4 screws, so that's hardly a test, is it? Let's be fair. But I love the way they come in and out, dead easy, brilliant. You don't have to tilt it or anything like that. I really, really like that. Feels beautiful. And like I say, the bits, that magnet is fantastic. Boom, listen to that. Very, very tight, doesn't come out, and the machining on these is excellent. What I did was I actually bought a couple of extra PB Swiss heads. The reason being is I'm in Europe, so we use a lot of posi drive. Sorry, hang on, I'll show you. So here we go. So for those who don't know, you've got P1 and P2, which it comes with, which is Phillips 1 and Phillips 2, and there's Phillips. So it's also known as the crosshead. So you can see the profile there. I'll try and get a focus. Apologies there. So it's a crosshead, standard crosshead, and then you get a flathead, or there, that one. So that is like your standard old-fashioned screw used on electronics and things like that. I used that to do some furniture a couple of days ago, no problems. You only get one size here, so 0.8 by 5.5, no problems there. PB Swiss. I noticed this has it's been printed on. I prefer stamped, but I'm quite confident in the quality of these where this isn't going to corrode away because they all have a coating, so that's nice to see. That's fine. And then you get 3 of the torques here. There. So, that's okay. They look okay. I only checked the smallest one, and I literally put in about 4 screws, and it hasn't scuffed up or anything. Nice fitting. And again, that's a size 15 TX, which stands for torques. Torques are pretty good for non-cam out and things like that. I mean, the Phillips will allow cam out, which is fine because they're not really for high torque applications. But in Europe, we tend to use a lot of the posi drives. Basically, a posi drive is just a cross, it's a Phillips, but it has extra crosses in. So another 4 fins there, or veins, whatever you want to call them. Can you see that? And what that does is it gives you more torque, and it prevents cam out, which is actually a design feature of Phillips. So I'm not having to go at Phillips. There's nothing wrong with the Phillips head. It works, and sometimes you need cam out. But when you don't want cam out and you don't want to be leaning right into a wall and things like that to prevent cam out, posi drive is fantastic. I love them. I use them on the fence outside and the gate and things like that. Not these 2 heads here, but I do on my Milwaukee stuff. So I got a posi 1 and a posi 2. So what I might do is I might take the 2 larger of these out and replace them with posies. So what I've got is, I've got 2 Phillips, 2 posies and a flat there, and a smaller Torx, which you know, I don't tend to use the larger ones, and I do have other tools for that, so I might swap that out. So it's nice to see you can do that. And I mean, what I could also do is I could say, well look, posi 2 is not as popular, whereas posi 1 is. So I could say, right, okay, so I've got 6 in the magazine there, boosh, and let's stick 1 in the chamber and carry it. Boom, and I could carry it like that because it's so small. Although, do you want that protrusion? Probably not. You know, like what I did with the Wiha, when I thought, you know, you've got all of these and then it comes with one that doesn't fit, which is strange. It's a strange setup. So what I chose to do was take the one with the fattest head, which is the 1/4 inch here, the hex, and then I just put it in like that, and I've carried that like that without problems, and it doesn't like scratch your pockets or pop through your pocket or anything like that. But you could choose to do that without a Phillips or something. So pretty impressed. I wonder if you could put it the other way around. No, you can't, but you can see how strong that magnet is. Look, if I'll show you, look, let's see if it picks up another head. Yeah, no problems. Very, very strong magnet on that, which is nice to see. So let's see. Well, now, you know, I mean, we can compare them, but just as an item itself, what do I like? Love the bits. They're all coated. They feel extremely good. The fit is beautiful as long as you match them to the right screws. I did some furniture, perfect. I love this. The design's beautiful. This is lovely and soft, very nice to use. When you open this, you can tell it's a nice machined piece of kit. Feels good. The bits come in and out perfectly, look. They don't rattle. There's a tiny little bit of rattle up and down, listen. And then when it's shut, you can sort of hear it now and then, hear it. I'm trying, but there's not a lot, whereas compared to that, and that's ludicrous. But if rattle bothers you, don't get that. You would get the Wiha or this. Really like it. I can't really think of a way that can improve it. With it, you know, really the only way I would improve this is maybe kill that rattle, but then you would have to change the tolerances and it would be harder to get the bits out. And the other thing is maybe just make it a tiny little bit bigger, but I'm whinging because I'm 6'4". Look, it's very, very small, and really I shouldn't be whinging because this is a stubby. If it's not big enough, go and get a proper screwdriver and stop whinging. This is great as an EDC, or just in a like a go bag right at the top where you can get to it. You've got your sunglasses and a stubby and things like that, and a multi-tool. This is exceptional. I'm very impressed with the PB Swiss stuff. In fact, I went and got, look at this, I went and got the big, well, I was going to say manual, but this is all of the tools that they do. So I was able to get a hold of this, and what I'm going to do is, just to bore people, I might spend 2 hours going through this and film it, but it's quite interesting, just seeing all the different tools. So I have got the full catalogue here, which I'll go through. It says work with the best, up on some building in the Antarctic or wherever the hell that is. So in comparison, that rattles more. I don't like this as much. It's a nuisance getting the bits in and out. I like the colour coding though. I do appreciate that. I quite like the rubberized bit, but it's quite big. This, I don't know why one of the bits, why they give you an extra bit that doesn't fit in the carousel. It's a bit strange. I like the rubberized bit, but that's fully rubberized and smaller. This doesn't rattle at all, which is nice, the Wiha, but it uses proprietary 1/4 inch. In other words, they're double-ended. Yes, you get twice the amount of heads. Unfortunately, because of that, if you want to use one of your own heads, you're stumped a bit, aren't you? Which is a shame. So on its own, that's great, but if it's part of your toolkit, I'd rather have the PB Swiss. So let's give this a quick mark. I've used it, I used the Torx smallest head, I think it was, put in about 4 screws, well, in and out. I put some furniture together with a flat head, it still looks okay. I used the Phillips 1, I think it was it the 1 or the 2, smallest one? I used the Phillips 1, and that hasn't scuffed up at all, it still looks pretty decent. I've got no problems with this so far, in limited use, I will admit that. I will keep checking this though, and if there's any problems, I'll come back to everyone with this. But I would give this 9 out of 10. There's very few ways I would improve this other than size, but that's my problem. I'm 6'4", and a tiny little bit of rattle. Not a lot though, Christ. It's pretty decent. I'm extremely impressed with this. 9 out of 10. Well done, PB Swiss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get some more PB Swiss stuff, because although I like my German tools, the Vera and the Wiha here. Excellent tools. I use these. That's why they're right next to my computer here. However, I'm kind of falling in love with the PB Swiss stuff here. Extremely good. So I'll try and get some more of their stuff. I was looking at some of the hex stuff and larger screwdrivers, so very, very impressed. Well done, PB Swiss. I just think you need to get your finger out and try and get your stuff into more markets, because trying to get a hold of this was like getting gold dust, you know. So if anyone knows anyone at PB Swiss, put me in sort of contact with them where I can get a hold of them more easily. You know, I'm not after freebies, I'm just want to get a hold of these damn things. So very impressed. 9 out of 10 on this one. So well done. And like I say, I'm probably going to change the loadout. I'll probably take the largest Torx out, which I probably wouldn't use, and put in a few posies. We'll see, because we do use posi drive here, which I really like. Like I say, I've got them on the fence. I've got some work to do on the fence this weekend. I won't be using this because I'm after a high torque application. I'll be using a Milwaukee driver. You know, and I won't, but I will try these heads. Actually, I'll try probably, I might be the bigger one. It depends what screws I use. It'll probably be the posi 2, because you want a bit of torque and you don't want it camming out. Anyway, I'm rabbiting here. So well done, PB Swiss. This is the review of the PB 8453. There's an 8453C, 8453V1. They're just different loadouts, and the CB, it comes in a cardboard box, if you're wondering what all those different numbers are. But the main thing is PB 8453. An excellent piece of kit here. Very, very impressed with it. Lovely and compact. Look at that. Tiny. You wouldn't, if I do that, you wouldn't even know that's in my hand. Look. Well, you do, but you know, if I was at a, you know, I was trying to hide that, you wouldn't know. So excellent piece of kit. Well done. Right, enough waffling. It's time for me to go and have a look at this massive thing here, and spend the rest of my day looking at that. So thanks for joining me. Any questions, stick them in the bottom. If you think, well, PB Swiss is rubbish, have you tried Klein or this or that or Milwaukee or whoever, let me know and I'll go and have a look at them. But thanks for joining me.